Hello and welcome to the Salesforce.com webinar, Turn Every Click into a Customer, Secrets of Search Marketing Success with Salesforce for Google AdWords. I'd like to introduce Sean Whiteley, Director of Marketing Applications from Salesforce.com.
Thanks, Jeremy. Welcome, everyone, to Search Marketing Success with Salesforce for Google AdWords. I'm very pleased to also have Tyrona Heath with me today. She was kind enough to fly out from New York to join me here in San Francisco. Ty has been at Google for about 4 years, and what she does at Google is she trains some of their biggest partners and customers as to the best way to get the most value out of Google AdWords. Before we get started, a very quick word from our sponsor, the federal government. If you really want to read this safe harbor statement, you can go to our website and feel free to read it, but I'm sure you will probably find more interesting content on the website, but feel free to do so. So before we get going, I'd like to ask you to go back about 10 years. Take yourself back to 1997 and think about sort of your life and your lifestyle and your workplace environment. You didn't have Google, you didn't have Salesforce. You probably had that annoying dial-up tone when you were getting online. You probably got very used to watching the hourglass spin as you waited for content to come back. And then over the next couple of years, what you saw is, high-speed connections starting to become more prevalent. You even saw Wi-Fi popping up in some places. Then you saw some of the browser-based technologies like Ajax and Flash start to emerge, and the online experience started to get faster, and it started to get more rich in terms of the content that you could view online. Since the year 2000, Google has seen 652 million new Internet users, which is pretty interesting. One of the things I've noticed is if you've ever had the pleasure of going down to the Googleplex in Mountain View, which is Google's worldwide headquarters, the first thing you'll typically see is a screen. And on that screen, you'll see keywords scrolling down. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you'll see these keywords, and these are searches going on around the world at any given moment in time. It looks something like this. These little yellow dots are indicative of search queries going on around the world. And what's interesting about this map is if you overlay a map of the world's electricity, it maps one-to-one. So what this is really saying is that there are people all over the world and they're searching for things on Google. There was a study that Marketing Sherpa did with Inquiro a couple of years ago, and what they did is they wanted to start to research the buying patterns and the buying processes of companies and most notably B2B companies. They asked 1,000 B2B buyers about their purchasing decision, and what they found was that 83% of these buyers did online research before you bought something. I mean, think about the last time you bought something. It could be a blender, could be a business service, it could be an iPod or one of the new iPhones. But typically people read consumer reviews and they do some research before they buy things, and that certainly applies to business services. What was even more interesting is that 77% of these buyers started with a Google search. So Google is obviously the most popular search engine in the world. They have the most widespread reach, and we found that people have a really good experience with it. So today I want to talk about Salesforce for Google AdWords. And Salesforce for Google AdWords is a free service from Salesforce. It comes standard with all Salesforce editions. You can find it by going up to the Applications drop-down in the top right-hand corner of your Salesforce screen. If it's there, I'm going to show you how to use it. If it's not there, you can feel free to go out to the App Exchange and you can install it into your Salesforce organization. So the joint value proposition of using Salesforce and Google AdWords, of course connected with Salesforce for Google AdWords, is pretty simple. You generate new leads by advertising your business online with Google AdWords, and then basically your sales team takes those leads and hopefully nurtures those leads, turns them into opportunities and close deals in your Salesforce CRM system. So again, generate new leads with Google AdWords, close those leads, generate new business with Salesforce CRM. It's kind of three parts to Salesforce for Google AdWords. And I'm going to talk about all three of these today. There's, the Google AdWords side, which Ty is going to talk about. She's going to specifically address some really good methods to get up and going and start driving traffic to your website. I'm going to talk a bit about your website. So, how can you leverage your website as really the hub of your marketing activity? How can you make sure that when people on the web do end up on your website, and typically, it may be a vehicle using Salesforce for Google AdWords and Google AdWords to get to your website, But what kind of content can you put on your website? How can you make the self-service discovery process very, very simple and users can find what they're looking for? So here's sort of the things I'm going to go through today. We're going to talk about, as I mentioned, leveraging your website. We're going to talk about designing landing pages. So landing pages are the first place somebody goes from a Google advertisement is a landing page, and typically that resides someplace on your website. And if all goes well, that landing page corresponds to the copy and the keywords that they search for. And Ty's going to talk about how to choose good keywords that drive traffic to your website. She's also going to talk about writing good ad copy. So Google AdWords is advertising, and writing good ad copy is an art, and there's some best practices, and Ty's going to talk a little bit about that. Ty's then going to turn it back over to me, and I'm going to talk about really sort of understanding the return on investment that you're getting from your online advertising. And then I'm going to wrap up with a demonstration. I'm going to jump into Salesforce Google AdWords. I'm going to give you a little product tour, and then we're going to wrap up with some Q&A. Let's talk about your website. As I mentioned before, your website is no longer just a channel or an advertising mechanism or a presence for your company. It's become the primary marketing vehicle. If you think about all the campaigns that you run for lead generation and demand generation processes, most of them are really designed to get people to your website. And as I mentioned, your website is full of information and content and offers and things that can educate your prospects and customers about some of the services and products that you have. These campaigns could be online, they could be offline, phone, email, organic search, paid search, newspaper, but all of these things are really geared to do one thing, and that's to get people to your website. Let's take a look at Salesforce as an example. Salesforce has a pretty rich website with a lot of content. It's internationalized in several different languages. We use a bunch of different mechanisms like search engine optimization and search engine marketing. We do PR and events like Dreamforce and City Tour events. Maybe you've had some experience with some of those. We also believe in sending emails out, hopefully that are targeted, hopefully based on information that's relevant to you. But all of these things are geared to do one thing, and that's to basically point you to someplace on our website that has some information about what you're looking for. Of course, you can always call us on the phone, and then what we do, of course, is everything goes into our CRM system where we capture the lead, and then what we do is we qualify that lead and route it to the appropriate place in our sales organization. So it's really pretty simple, and it really all revolves around our website and our web properties. One thing I want to be clear on is we're talking about search engine marketing today as opposed to search engine optimization. Both are critical to the success of your demand generation online, but SEO is organic or natural search, and we're going to talk about how Salesforce for Google AdWords can also help you track, where your traffic is coming from organically and naturally. And of course, we're going to talk about search engine marketing, and that's paid search or pay-per-click, and that is, what Google AdWords is really, really built a tremendous tool set for you to drive traffic, paid traffic to your website. One of the things, the terms I've heard Ty use and many others at Google is that magic moment or the moment of relevance. One of the reasons that search marketing has become so prevalent as a lead generation mechanism is due to the fact that when people are searching for your products and services, at that given moment in time, if a lead comes into your sales organization, that person was literally just looking for your product or service. So it's at the top of their mind. People are very busy, especially in this day and age. They've got a lot going on, and you'd really like to talk to a customer or a product or a prospect about your product or service at the moment in time when it's at the top of their mind. So it's relevant. That's a big advantage of search marketing. Another advantage you're going to get is the ability to control your costs, and of course the number one advantage of using search marketing as a lead gen mechanism is the fact that you can track it. You can track it down to the text ad. You can track it down to the keyword, and we're going to talk a little bit how you can do that. So here's a fact. 4 out of every 5 Salesforce customers directs traffic from email and search marketing campaigns to their homepage. So this is a good thing that you're driving traffic to your web properties, but it's not always the optimal way. So we're going to talk about landing pages. And as an example, I'd like to cite Yamaha. So Yamaha is a very large customer of ours, a very large business. They have a lot of great products and services. They're worldwide, and they sell everything from drums and guitars and pianos to home audio and video products like televisions and stereos. I'm sure you've seen it in the Best Buy and at the Computer USA stores. And of course, they also sell jet skis and motorcycles. So if Yamaha runs an advertisement online and you end up clicking on one of their advertisements and you end up on their homepage, you might not know where to go from there because you could be looking for a piano, you could be looking for a motorcycle. So what Yamaha has done, of course, is they've created specific landing pages that are unique to the offer. So, for instance, if they are advertising for a disc lavalier piano, when you click on the advertisement, you're going to land on a landing page, as we see here on the right-hand side, that is specific to the disc lavalier piano. Let's look at a couple landing pages, and let's try to break them down to understand sort of what are some of these best practices around landing pages. At the top, you've got some simple branding. You've got a kind of a description of what the product or service is. You have an offer typically. If you're asking someone to fill out a lead form, typically you'd like to have some sort of an offer where it could be a white paper, it could be a presentation or a webinar, it could be a promotion, any kind of a promotion. So what they're basically doing here is they're offering up some sort of product information and a demonstration when you fill out your lead form. You have a simple lead form, and I'm going to talk more about that in a few minutes. And of course, you have a call to action. So let's take a look at another landing page, and this is the landing page many of you saw when you registered for this webinar. Again, you have an attention-grabbing headline. Salesforce typically uses red strategically, so when they want to draw your eye to something, they use red. As many of you know, when you look at a web page, especially when there's a variety of information on it, you tend to scan it and look for specific things. So the usage of colors is a good way to kind of draw the eye to where you want people to look. We give you a little bit of information about what's contained in this webinar. There's a customer testimonial, which is always a good practice because you can kind of see what somebody else says and look at sort of one of your peers think of the product or service. And again, another really important thing is to make sure your landing page is above the fold. So myself, I use a big monitor. I have the luxury of having a 24-inch monitor, which is very nice, but often I forget that the world doesn't all have 24-inch monitors. So you want to make sure that you develop in 1024 by 768. So some of the things that you want to come across in your landing page doesn't end up, off someone's screen. So they have to kind of scroll down and they might miss it. Another thing that I've seen, personally, is that JavaScript is a very capable language, and you can do a lot of great things with it. You can do validation. You can do a lot of things to ensure that the data that's coming in is clean and that you don't have dupes and that you're getting all of the fields filled out and things like that. But the other thing I've seen is that JavaScript can also drive customers away. How many times have you ever started to fill out a lead form that has several different fields on it, and for some reason when you try to submit it, you get an error that you didn't fill out something like that, and then of course when you go back, the page refreshes and all your data is gone. You got to start over again. I'm sure that there's been many a funnel that has developed a large leak based on the fact that you've got either too many fields, you're asking for too much information, or you're using too much JavaScript. So, really keep it simple. Ask for the minimal amount of information. I know many companies out there have very mature and intricate sales processes, so they do require some levels of information for lead routing and things like that. But, keeping it simple is your best bet. Notice again using the color to highlight the call to action, and again, keep it above the fold. So another thing that's a very good idea to do with landing pages is to have a lead form. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a landing page that doesn't have any place that I can enter my information in if I want to talk to someone in the company. Salesforce has a web-to-lead creation tool that's really easy to use, and basically all you have to do is choose the fields you want to capture. And you can pick, again, first name, last name, email, company, city, state. You can choose the return URL where you want them to go after you've submitted it, and it'll generate the HTML for you. Now, I wanted to call your attention sort of to the bottom of this page here, and you'll notice that there's a hidden field. One really easy thing to do is pass information. You can pass information about a lead or an opportunity or a campaign in the field in this form as a hidden field. And it doesn't require any mapping or any programming. It'll all be mapped into Salesforce, so it's a pretty nice way to do it. After you finish with that, here's your page. This is what it looks like, and you can just copy this into your landing page, copy it into your website, or you can just send it to your webmaster if you're not the person actually doing the administration of your website. One tip, again, I mentioned, you can pass these fields. So if you have, offline campaigns or another campaign that you want to associate this lead with from these forms, you can just simply take this unique identifier for the campaign, and you can embed that as a hidden field, as I mentioned right here, in your lead form, and it will automatically associate this lead with any campaign you have in your Salesforce system. Just a tip. And then, of course, when you're finished, this is what it looks like. It's pretty clean. It's pretty straightforward. You've got a lead capture form. There's no mapping. There's no programming. And it enables your customers and prospects to drop in the minimal amount of information. You can touch base with them and make sure that you kick off the sales process right. Another really important thing to do with landing pages is split test. And Ty's going to talk more about this in terms of writing multiple advertisements. The idea here is simple. You have, some sort of a landing page that you've built. You want to basically clone it, and you want to change it up a little bit, and you want to see what's more appealing to users. And of course, you can measure this and optimize it along the way. So the idea here is to have, two competing ads or two competing landing pages, and you just kind of watch them, and you see which one ends up being more successful. You keep that one at the top, and then you put up another challenger, and you see if you can beat it. So you're ensuring the fact that you're optimizing along the way. You can see here in this instance we had a 10.8% lead capture on the right versus a 7.9% lead capture on the left, and basically it's the same exact landing page. The layout's just a little bit different. So for some reason, people just preferred, sort of the layout on the right. So right now I've talked about landing pages. I've talked about your website as really sort of the primary marketing vehicle for your company. Right now I'm going to turn it over to Ty, and Ty is going to talk about selecting keywords and writing ad copy that maximizes the traffic that you get to your website and to your landing pages. So Ty?
Thanks, Sean, and thanks for the warm welcome to Salesforce. It's good to be here. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to talk about the fundamentals of choosing keywords and also writing effective ad text. Okay? So how do you choose good keywords? That's a good question. A lot of people ask that. One thing to think about, and actually the key thing to take away from this, is relevance. Choosing relevant keywords that accurately reflect the products and services that you offer and match what your audience is looking for is really what you want to do when you think about keywords. Also, you want to capture a large audience without being too general. You want to think about your audience and think about what would they search on to find my product, and what will I want to present to them when they actually see that. And you want to make that connection so that your customer says, that's exactly what I'm looking for. One good way to get started is first to think about your goals. Sean gave a good overview of the best practices of setting up your website. Once you have your website set up optimally, you want to actually start there in thinking about how to choose keywords and organize your account. When you browse your website, you can look at different things like the About Us section or its equivalent on your page, different FAQs, any special offers you might have, and also take a look at your products and services. You can get a lot of great ideas as to how to structure your account. You want to think about what are the key products and services that I'm offering? Which ones have performed the best? Where am I getting the most ROI? And that may be a good place to start when you create your campaign. Other things to think about are, where is my audience? Where do I want to target? What kind of marketing budget do I have? Am I allocating budget to online, to print? And how do I want to shift that to take advantage of this investment? And then finally, think about how you might want to organize your campaigns. Another good thing to do is to take a look at what your competition is doing. So you know your biggest competitors. You can take a look at their websites and see what strategies they're using. How are they organizing their websites? What special offers do they have for their products and services? Another good thing to do is just go to Google and do a keyword search. So in this example, someone's done a search business laptops. Here you'll see a bunch of different ads on the top and also on the right-hand side. Looking at these ads, you may see some of the best special offers that people have and actually decide, what do I want to do? In this case, people have chosen things like free shipping, certain discounts, and also in one case, people have actually highlighted the fact that they have secure notebook PCs. Looking at these things, you may come up with some ideas for how to attract more users to your business. Okay, so now that you're thinking about all the different types of keywords that you could potentially put into your account, let's actually take a look at this example. So we're creating an account for notebook PCs, and we want to put keywords in that account that are most relevant keywords that will drive traffic to the business. Looking at these potential keywords, let's take a look at the keywords computer, tablet, PC, and notebook battery. Computer may be a good keyword at first thought, but when you think about a user searching for the keyword computer, they may not necessarily be looking for a notebook. Same thing with tablet and PC. And as a user searching for a notebook battery, that's not what you're looking for. So you're not looking for a notebook, you're looking for a notebook battery. So let's look at some of the other examples. At the very top, we have a very long keyword string. Buy cheap notebooks online right now. So as a user searching, I can guess that many of you haven't exactly used the search phrase this long. So that may be not a good keyword choice for you to put into your account. Finally, we're left with 3 keywords: buy notebook, notebook computer, and notebook PC. So these are good and relevant keywords for you to put into your account to drive traffic to your business for people searching for notebooks. If I'm searching on the keyword notebook computer, notebook PC, or buy notebook, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Another good thing to think about is, where are your users in the buying process, and how can I capture them all through the cycle? Here we see a funnel with 3 different segments: research and engagement, consideration and comparison, and purchase. So what you want to do is align keywords to each stage of the cycle to draw users wherever they are in their thought process when they're searching for products that you have to offer. So at the very top, research and engagement, you might choose a keyword like notebook computers. So this is someone who's just searching around, just thinking about what they might want to buy, different brands possibly. At the consideration comparison stage, they're actually looking for reviews. They're looking for more information on what the best computer is, comparing different brands before they make a decision. And finally, for users ready to purchase, they might actually include the brand in their keyword query. So in this example, buy Acme notebook, this person knows exactly what they're looking for, and you want to capture that user. Another great tip I would like to share today is about the average U.S. search phrase length. 94% of the people in the U.S. search with multi-word phrases. I want you to think of the last keyword query you did and how many words were in that keyword query. It's likely that, like many users in the U.S., it was somewhere between 2 and 4 words. So actually just over 70% of users are searching with keywords of that length. There's a huge drop-off between 4 and 5 words. So take this into account when choosing keywords for your campaign. You want to make sure that you stay between 2 and 4, and once you get 5 through 7 or even 1, it's not usually a good keyword choice. Also, in choosing keywords, adding plurals and synonyms can actually really increase your traffic and still provide relevant keywords for your account. So you want to expand your list to include plurals, common variations, and synonyms. Let's actually look at an example here. So staying with our notebook computer example, if I'm expanding my keyword Acme notebook to include plurals, synonyms, and variations, I may add keywords like buy Acme notebook, buy Acme notebooks, buy Acme laptop, purchase Acme notebook, purchase Acme laptop, and buy Acme notebooks. So you can see here we've added all the variations to expand our keyword list and really drive traffic for all the different things. Okay, so what are negative keywords? Negative keywords prevent ads from appearing on irrelevant search queries and eliminate unwanted impressions. So looking at this example, we're still selling notebook computers. Let's imagine someone searching on the keyword notebook. I love the Notebook movie. It's actually a really good movie, but that's not really what we're looking for. So for someone searching for notebook, if we add the keyword movie by adding a negative sign and then movie into our account, we'll prevent people searching for Notebook the movie from finding our ad for notebook computers. You also may be thinking, okay, how can I possibly come up with all of these different keywords on my own? Google provides a good keyword tool that can provide additional keywords that you may want to add to your account. So if you enter the keyword query notebook, We'll provide a bunch of different variations, show you the search volume for the month, and also how competitive that keyword is. Okay, so now that we've talked about keywords, let's talk about some best practices for writing good ads. So 3 things to remember about writing an effective ad. The first one is really the ad is what people first see. It distinguishes you from your competition. So this is the window into your website. So you really want to do a good job of communicating your value proposition effectively, and style is really important. You want to be persuasive and informative and entice users to click on your ad. So let's see an example here. We have a user searching for tablet laptops. One strong way to attract users to your ad is to catch them by making sure your headlines match the keywords. In these 2 examples, the first ad has a headline of just laptops. The second ad has a headline of tablet laptop. So as a user searching for tablet laptop, I'm going to be more likely to click on the ad that actually has the keyword inside of it. Another good thing is that when you actually search on the keyword and include it in your ad text, matching terms show up in bold text on the Google results page. So that's another great way to highlight your business. Next thing to do is include a call to action. So some examples of call to action are get info, research here, download white paper, order a catalog, buy it now, and save money. In thinking about your call to action, you want to take some time to think about what do I want users to do when they get to my website? And that's actually what you should use as your call to action. So if you're capturing leads, you want to reference that in your ad. So in this example, corporate laptops, customer satisfaction, super fast processor, this user has chosen call to action, get info. Also, you want to avoid meaningless slogans and gimmicky language. Obviously, you want people to click on your ad, and obviously you want them to visit your website. So don't waste valuable ad text real estate space by adding call to actions like these. Another strategy to use is to add special offers that reflect your goals. So remember back when I talked about looking at competitor websites, you want to think about what makes you different from the next person. In this case, you may want to use something like save 10%, get a free white paper, free shipping, whatever it is, you want to think about what your goals are when choosing it. So whether your goals are leads, purchases, or page views, you want to choose special offers that reflect those things. Another great thing about Google is that it really enables you to advertise by location. So with Google AdWords, you can choose a specific target area, and your ad will only be shown to users in that specific region. So this is a great thing for writing ads. So if you're a local advertiser, you can actually cite your location in your ad text. That will draw your local audience to know that you're actually offering products and services in their area. And this is another great way to highlight the difference between you and your competition. Another little-known fact about writing AdWords ads is that if you intercapitalize the display URL, that's the last line of ad text in your ad, it can actually make a big difference. Let's look at these 2 examples. In the first ad, you'll see AdWordsExample.com in all lowercase. Compare that with the example on the other side with uppercase. Here you can clearly see the different words, and it stands out much more. So intercapitalizing your display URL can actually lead to better click-through rates for your ads. Earlier, Sean talked about split testing websites and landing pages. You actually want to do the same thing for your ads. In this example, you can see 3 different ads for Yamaha pianos. We have the statistics here in our account about the percent served, the number of clicks, the impressions, and the click-through rate. Looking at this example, you can very quickly see which ad is performing the best, and then continue to iterate off of that ad. Take what works and keep writing ads that reflect what works best so that you can continue to improve your performance. Within the Google AdWords account, there's actually an option to automatically optimize better showing ads more often. So actually when you first start with Google AdWords, you're automatically opted into this. And this is really helpful because we'll show the ad that's performing best most often. The next thing I want to talk about is account structure. So It's great to group keywords based on your theme. Let's take a look at these examples. In one hand, we have a bad ad group. We have keywords like business computers, PC notebook, and corporate laptop. As a user searching on these keywords, if I see the ad computer when I'm searching for PC notebook, I may say, you know what, that's not what I'm looking for, and I'd be less likely to click on that ad. On the other hand, in the good ad group, if I search for a keyword corporate laptop, corporate laptops, or Acme corporate laptop, I may find exactly what I'm looking for in the other ad and therefore have better click-through rate. So if you group your accounts and group your keyword lists with your ad text, then you're more likely to have better performance. This is actually a really complex issue, and we want to learn more about this. So if you want to, you should reference the Advanced Search Engine Marketing posting that we recorded at the Dreamforce conference. Okay? Some words of wisdom about this. Please keep in mind that search engine marketing is actually always a work in process. You can always improve. Your goals and objectives can always change. So as they change, you should reevaluate your ads and your keyword list and make changes accordingly. Continue to improve on what works for you, and you're going to find that your account's going to work very successfully. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it back over to Sean to talk about return on investment.
All right, that's great. Thanks, Ty. So we've picked up some good techniques to leverage Google AdWords to put your message in front of a wide and targeted audience. We've figured out a good way to pick keywords and mine your keywords for keywords that really convert traffic. We've learned how to write some good ad copy. We've learned how to send people to your website, optimize your website and landing pages for optimal conversion. So how do you really know what's working? Take the 5-minute test. So, ask the person who's running your online advertising or your search marketing or your lead gen, how many leads came in from your website today? Where are those leads in your pipeline now? What sources are they coming from? Are they coming from paid search? Are they coming from organic search? Are they coming from partners and affiliates through referrals? Are they coming directly to your website? What keywords are they using to find your business? Which keywords are really converting and driving traffic? More importantly, which keywords are translating into new business? Again, what ads are driving traffic? And what pages on your website are converting? You can very quickly take the 5-minute test, and you should be able to figure out the answers to all these questions in a matter of minutes. So let's go back to that initial slide I showed you with the kind of the 3 piece parts to Salesforce for Google AdWords. There's Google AdWords. You use Google AdWords to advertise your business online, drive people to your website. You use landing pages in your website and the content on your website and web-to-lead forms to capture those leads into Salesforce.com. So this is what it looks like when it's all working. Let's say you have an advertisement for business investing, for Pillar Finance, my company. Someone searches on my keyword, and they click through to my landing page. On my landing page, I have a very simple report that you can get by entering in a subset of information. There's a clear call to action, and once you've entered in your small subset of information, first name, last name, email, phone company, and the report you're interested in, that lead goes into Salesforce. And now I understand immediately where that lead came from. Did it come from Google AdWords? Did it come from paid search versus organic search? Did it come from a partner? And I can get even more granular levels of information by drilling down into the lead and seeing that, I can see the campaign, I can see the ad group, I can see the text ad that somebody liked in my ad copy that was working. I can see the keyword that they searched on. I can also see the keyword that I bought that converted that traffic. So you have all this information, which can be very, very valuable, and never again do you have to ask, how did you hear about us, because you already know. So I talked about that 5-minute test. These are the reports that come standard with Salesforce for Google AdWords. You've got a number of ROI reports at the ad group, the campaign, the keyword, and the advertisement level. So in terms of how many leads came in from your website today, of course, you can just run a lead report. You can do that by the ad group or campaign or text ad or keyword. Where are those leads in my pipeline? I can run a pipeline ROI report. I can understand, which of my keywords and text ads are not only driving traffic, but they're driving new business. Often what you'll find is when you start using Salesforce for Google AdWords is some of the keywords that you thought were your most valuable are not necessarily the most valuable, because you may be just generating a lot of noise. What you really are interested in is what are the keywords and text ads and landing pages that are driving new business for you. And of course, you can see, sort of where your customers are coming from. Are they coming from which one of my lead sources? I can run sort of a web lead source report. And of course, those of you who are familiar with Salesforce, we have a dashboard. This is the Salesforce for Google AdWords dashboard. It has a lot of these pieces of information that I just described in the reports, kind of visually represented in different types of bar charts and pie charts. And you can, of course, customize this dashboard as well. So let's jump into a demonstration of Salesforce for Google AdWords. I'm going to kind of take you on a little bit of a product tour and kind of show you how easy it is to get up and going. So this is the main tab of the Salesforce for Google AdWords service. If you want to just drop down in the top right-hand side of your screen, of course, you know that these are different services that are in your Salesforce system. Each of these services is represented by a tab set that represents the functionality provided by the service. So if you take a look here, this is the Google AdWords application. If you have it, great, you can start using it. If not, you can simply go to the App Exchange. If you haven't gone to the App Exchange, I encourage you to do so, and you'll see that Salesforce for Google AdWords is here. All you have to do is click on the Salesforce for Google AdWords service. As I mentioned, it's free, and you can install it into your org. It takes a few minutes. It's a really quick and simple installation. Now, those of you who are new to Salesforce for Google AdWords, this is what you're going to see when you install Salesforce for Google AdWords into your Salesforce system. You're going to see this. Essentially, we break the world into two kinds of people, those who advertise with Google AdWords and those who don't. If you already are advertising with Google AdWords, all you need to do is enter your CID, which is essentially your account unique identifier, into this slot right here. Link the account, and what that does is it notifies Salesforce that you would like to link an existing Google AdWords account to Salesforce, and we take care of that for you when you link you up. If you don't have one, it's very simple and straightforward. You enter in an email and a password, tell us where you are, and you create a new account. What that will do is immediately go out to Google AdWords. It will create a new account that's already linked to Salesforce, and then at that point, you'll just need to activate that Google AdWords account with a credit card. And you will only pay for clicks when somebody clicks on your advertisement. It's called pay-per-click advertising, and you only pay for somebody who clicks on your advertisement. Keywords, of course, are determined by the community. It's a big keyword auction, and keywords can range anywhere from 5 cents a click to $10 or $12 a click if it's a more expensive keyword. And Google AdWords gives you all kinds of really great controls and settings, so you can really manage and monitor your spend levels. One thing I'd also like to mention is right now Google has a promotion going on where if you sign up for a new AdWords account through Salesforce for Google AdWords, they will give you $50 in advertising spend to use to sort of get going and to start putting some of Ty's best practices and keywords and ad copy to use. So let's go back to an account that's already set up and going. This is my sort of AdWords account right here. What you'll see is sort of in the middle is kind of a mini dashboard. I can see over the last 24 hours how many leads have I gotten? Where are they coming from? Are they coming from Google AdWords? Are they paid leads? Are they organic leads? Are they referrals from my partners? Are they web direct? How many have I gotten over the last week? How many have I gotten all time? Over on the right-hand side, I can see sort of my top performers. So which of my campaigns and text ads are converting traffic, which of my keywords and which search terms are really my most popular ones. So really I can get a very high-level view of how my online advertising campaigns are really working for me. So at any time now, if I want to go out and I want to buy keywords and I want to write advertisements and I want to manage my campaigns, I simply launch into my AdWords account that's linked to Salesforce. Here is just a logical, grouping of my campaigns. I can break it up. Ty talked a little bit about, your structure of your accounts. It's really good practice that, separate things by campaign so you can track it. Inside of a campaign, you can have an ad group. You can have multiple ad groups, and Ty talked about breaking up your ad groups into logical groupings of keywords by product or service. You can see sort of the performance of your ad group. You can see how many clicks you've gotten, which is how many times someone has clicked on one of your ads. You can see the number of impressions, which is the number of times your advertisement has been served. You can see your click-through rate. So you can see here that clicks over impressions here is your click-through rate. So I've gotten every 3 times my ad is served, one person is clicking on it. That's a pretty good click-through rate. You can see your average cost per click, so how much you're paying on average for each of these clicks. And of course, you can see kind of your average position, where you're showing up. If you dig into an ad group, you can see even some more information. You can see, your keywords. So what are the keywords here in this that will trigger my ad to show? You can see, where are my ads? Again, it's good to have multiple advertisements so they're competing against one another, and you can actually see which one is performing better. So it's pretty simple. So let's take a look at one of these keywords here, and we'll take U.S. business equity investing. So let's go here, and we'll say U.S. We'll do a search for this. You'll see right at the top here, this is my advertisement. It's in bold because it's my keyword. I will click through. This is a landing page. Again, this is a landing page we talked about earlier. We hit all the points, very simple, a little bit of branding, some imagery. It's tough to have relevant imagery when you're advertising a fictional company and a fictional product, but it's nice to have some good visuals that are relevant to your product or service. We can just enter in a name. And as I mentioned before, it's nice to have some sort of an offer. So, we're asking you for some information. It's nice to tell people that you'll keep their information, private and confidential. They won't share it with anyone, and we'll offer you this free report. Now, once I've filled out this lead form, what will happen is this lead goes directly into Salesforce. And, before we talked a little bit about, a lead form and capturing leads, let's talk about how easy it is. You can actually go into here. If you do not have a lead form, it's very simple to create one. You can simply create a web lead form like I mentioned. You can choose your fields that you want. You can choose your return URL, generate that code, and you can either copy and paste that. This is your organization ID, your unique ID for your Salesforce system. You can either send this to your webmaster, or you can actually take this yourself and copy and paste it into your lead form. Relatively simple. The only other thing you need to do after that is add the tracking code to your website. So there's 2 lines of JavaScript. You just need to take this and put it on all of the pages on your website. At the bottom, works very similar to Google Analytics, and what this enables us to do is track where your leads are coming from. So now let's take a look at a lead in your Salesforce system. I can look at my leads that have come in today. I can click on one of my leads that have come in, and of course I can see sort of this is a lead here. As I scroll down, I can see the text ad, the keywords, the ad groups, and the Google campaigns that are working for me. If I want to understand, at a granular level where this lead is coming from, I can see that it came from this campaign. I can see this is my ad group. Here's my text ad. This was the search phrase, so this is what somebody searched on, and this is actually my keyword. Now, I just did a search and entered a lead. It takes anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes for your Salesforce system to update. We call this correlation, and what we do is we look for information that has come in to your Salesforce system, and then what we do is we run a process that goes out and it gathers all of the information that we have about that lead, and we update your reports and your dashboards and your leads. I mentioned before the reports. If you want to take a look at some of these reports, and I want to say, hey, where are my leads coming from? So I can take a look at the web lead source. So very quickly what this will do is it'll group it by referrals. So these are kind of my referral partners. These are some of my referrals that have come in. If I want to actually dig into one of these leads, I can actually see that this is where my referrer came from. So this is actually from a GoogleEdition.com referral. So Google Edition is a website that's sending me traffic. So I can see that that's actually resulting in business for me. I can see that some of these are coming from organic Google searches. Some of these might be coming from Google AdWords. I can see that Google AdWords is performing very well for me. So I can really get like a high-level view, and there's a whole bunch of these reports that are pretty valuable. You can see, which of my keywords are bringing in leads. You can dig down and you can see that, these leads right here are coming from this keyword. And I can see that this keyword, Bay Area Tax Consulting, is really, really driving me a lot of business. And of course, anyone who's familiar with Salesforce, you can see the dashboard. So the dashboard is really a nice way to get a very good understanding of what Google AdWords or what organic searches or referrals or directs are really resulting in business for you. So I can see on the left-hand side, I can see the number of leads that I've gotten from Google AdWords. I can see which of my campaigns is driving business for me. I can see my leads trending over time. So cumulatively, how are my Google AdWords campaigns performing for me? I can also see in the middle here, I can see my AdWords top performers. So I can see, which keywords are resulting in the most leads for me. Which of my creatives are performing well for me. If you follow Ty's tips, you should have, some new ones probably in here. Which of my campaigns, and again, how are people finding me? So these are my top 10 search phrases that people are looking for in finding my business. I talked before, a little bit also about some of the other lead source tracking that we provide. So, we not only track Google AdWords leads, but we track leads coming from all over the place. Again, you don't have to ask where people are coming from because we'll tell you. You can see here that, we kind of bucket you into one of a couple different categories. You could be coming from a referral or Google AdWords. You could be coming from natural or organic search or other. And we kind of give you a bird's eye view as to where that is coming from. And of course, you can see over time, which lead sources are really performing for you. On the right-hand side, you're tracking pipeline. So, what is your pipeline? Where are these deals? What stages are these deals at? And, how are they getting there? So, really the AdWords dashboard is a great thing to look at in the morning. And you can sort of understand, which of your keywords, which of your text ads, which of your ad groups and campaigns are not only resulting in traffic and impressions and clicks, but really are resulting in new business. So they're performing in the context of CRM, which is leads, opportunities, pipeline, and revenue. So with that, I'd like to actually point out a few very, very good resources for you if you found this interesting at all. We just had our annual user conference, Dreamforce. Hopefully some of you were able to attend. There's a lot of really great information on the website. In fact, I had Ty and some of her counterparts from Google come in. We did a couple sessions specifically around Google AdWords. There's a Salesforce for Google AdWords session. I had 3 of our customers come in and talk about some of the different ways they're using Salesforce for Google AdWords. We had a session specifically around Google AdWords at some of the more advanced techniques around search engine marketing with Google AdWords, and we go sort of a little bit deeper on things like, account structure and mining for good keywords and some of the topics Ty talked about. We go into a little bit more depth on. I encourage you to check out the Salesforce for Google AdWords blog. There's a lot of great information on there. We tend to take feedback from our users and post it on the blog to educate people and help people with, things that they're struggling with or where they want to know more information about. And I encourage you to comment on the blog too, because we do monitor it and we do listen to our customers. The Google AdWords Learning Center is fantastic. Just go to Google and just into your search term, Google AdWords Learning Center. There is a huge amount of content that Google has done a fantastic job of breaking up into small bits. When I first started learning Google AdWords, I sat down every morning with a cup of coffee and I decided to do a couple lessons. And within a couple weeks, I was up and going, and I had a lot of great information from their site. So at this point, we're going to open it up for questions, and we have a couple that have come in, and I'm going to actually take some of these off of the chat log. The first one that I saw come in is, I don't see Google AdWords in my Salesforce account. How do I see this? Well, as I mentioned before, if you go to the top right-hand corner and you drop down your applications, if you don't see it, you simply need to add an application from the App Exchange. So you can go to the App Exchange and you'll see Salesforce for Google AdWords right there, and you can install it into your org. It only takes a few minutes, and you can continue with the setup. Where do I get more information on web to lead forms? Well, if you install Salesforce for Google AdWords into your organization, or you can access it through the setup in Salesforce. But if you can go into the help in Salesforce and you can do a query on web to lead, or you can simply go into the setup section of Salesforce for Google AdWords, and again, it'll give you some pretty clear-cut directions as to how to use web to lead form. Here's a question for Ty. Says, just because a search line has 5 to 7 words doesn't mean they're not good ones. Long-tailed keywords are usually targeted and have high conversion rates.
Okay. That's actually a really good question. So earlier I referenced choosing keywords having search phrases of a certain length. Long-tail keywords, and these are keywords that they have fewer traffic, and you may not think of them because they're not the first keywords that you may associate with your account. But when you pair a lot of these keywords together, you can usually get a lot of great traffic to your account. As somebody creating these accounts, you have to make a decision. If you can think of a keyword, or if you find a keyword that's in the long tail with 5 to 7 keywords and you think it will be a good one, you should try it. Test it out, see if it works. The reason why I said choose keywords that are shorter is just because of data we have on what tends to work most often. So obviously not a hard and fast rule. You should definitely test all keywords if you think they'll be a good one and then make a decision after that.
Okay, thanks, Ty. And there's actually another one for Ty. Should your landing page not be the home page?
Okay, another great question. When you set up your account, you want to think about your user and know that users typically have short attention spans. So with that in mind, you want to take them directly to the page with the action that you want them to take. So if you want them to fill out a lead form or if you want them to find a product on a certain page, you want to make sure you connect the ad that you create with that page so they don't have to guess or spend time searching where they want to make that purchase or fill out that lead form.
Okay, so one thing I want to mention to everyone is that the presentation and the recording will be emailed and archived online. It will be on our blog, blogs.salesforce.com/AdWords. It will also be emailed to everybody. We have received a huge amount of questions, and we're kind of out of time, so I apologize. I hope everyone enjoyed the session today, and we will be responding to all questions. So we're going to dig into them this week, and by the end of the week, we're hoping to have an answer for all of your questions. So, we appreciate your patience, but we will get back to you. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone again for attending, and we plan on doing some more in this series going forward. So please, let us know if there are topics and things that we did not cover today, and hopefully we'll cover those in future sessions. So thanks a lot, everyone.